Welcome back to Mesoamerica and Aslan. Today we're at the El Sereno Community Garden off of Huntington and Lowell, and the next street over is Maycrest. We're not just here to look at the garden, but we're also here to explore a spectacular three-dimensional work of art. Come with me. So here's the work of art that I'm telling you about. It's, again, three-dimensional. It has layers of paint, and it has sculptural parts also popping out as well. So here you could see this one face. It's a representation of a Hecat Quetzalcoatl. A Hecat Quetzalcoatl is a wind deity. Quetzalcoatl is this pan-Mesoamerican deity that extends throughout all of Mesoamerica. I mean, even the Maya have a version of Quetzalcoatl. They may refer to him as Kukulkan. But here, the wind element is really strongly portrayed in this duck bill beak, where it's supposed to be the origin of wind. It's supposed to, pronounce out through that bill. Another like iconographic marker that distinguishes him as Quetzalcoatl is this beautiful split cut seashell pendant that's down here around his neck. The artist did a wonderful job of adding these seashells in a three-dimensional kind of relief application, and some beautiful stones, actual real stones, to finish off his pendant. On the other side of Hecat Quetzalcoatl, you have this representation of Tlaloc. Tlaloc is another very important Mesoamerican deity. Now, deity or god, I think these words they're European introductions into Mesoamerica, so it's hard when I hear them called gods, because maybe they had a different way of defining them in ancient Mesoamerica. But they are these important elements that reflect nature. So just as the other side reflected wind, this side here reflects water. It's a beautiful balance in this tall column sculpture. Tlaloc is a water deity, and he's associated with rain, rivers, and believe it or not, even the interior of mountains. It's believed that they're filled with water. So here, from his pectoral necklace, you see a beautiful piece of jade, which is the color that the earth turns into when there's water, green, and then you have the flowing of water running down from his pectoral pendant, and even on the side you see at the end of the water rings, you'll see seashells popping out as well. So here we are at the very lower half of this column. There's so many elements in here. I'm just impressed with all the beautiful detail and just how well thought out it is. So the very center of the column, you have these beautiful planters, but they're decorated with this orange color, and you see these eyes. It's representation of the earth opening up. The earth is opened up, and out of it you have vegetation and earth and plants growing out of the earth. But down below the earth, you have the underworld. And in the underworld, you see this depiction of death. For the Aztecs, they refer to this figure as Mecantlecutli, which is the Lord of the Dead. So he has the skeletal structures. You could see his rib cage down below. There's also a heart. The artist has added in a heart with an eyeball. And out of the eyeball stems out this plant that wraps all the way around. It goes off to the other side. This plant is a morning glory plant, and morning glory seeds were commonly used in Mesoamerica as hallucinogenic, and this is part of they use the ceremony to communicate with ancestors and the realm of the dead. So as a whole piece, all the different elements tie in really nicely together to share this great like cosmovision or multiple element Mesoamerican imagery that just ties in beautifully into this column with these planters. So you have the celestial element at the top and the earth element at the center and the underworld at the bottom. And at the very top, you also have another hallucinogenic element, which is a peyote plant that's growing up at the very top of this column. But there's other things that I see. Just the shape isn't random. If you look at it's a standing pole with 4 sides to it. And so when I see this, I see 4 directions. I see the sacred 4 cardinal points, but then there's the column in the center, which represents the 5th point, which is the axis mundi, the center of the universe, the center of everything. So it's built so well, thought of so well. And it doesn't end here. There's more to the sculpture than just this actual center column. It has these 4 world trees that are on the corners that create this sort of like awning or covering. It's another sculptural element. You have 4 trees on either side. And then when you look at the very top, you see that it starts off as the day, and then you have the sun, and then it transitions into the moon, and then it turns into night. So it has the entire world and the stars and the universe all wrapped up in one Mesoamerican 3-dimensional sculpture with plants at a community garden. It's beautiful. So one of the really rare treats for the audience and just these videos in general is that we get the artist here. And so you want to introduce yourself?
Definitely. My name is Jose Galarza.
So Joe's been working in the community for many years, and this is not the only work of art that he's done, but we're really excited to have him here, and we'll just ask him a few questions about some of this work of art here. So when did you do this, Joe?
I did this about 2 years ago at least. It's been 2 years. We completed. It took quite some time, you know. A lot of it was construction of it. Like if you really look at the piece itself, it's rebar. We did the rebar element to it with cement, with the fencing around it, and then the cement around it, and then we started building from there with the stucco.
Got you. So it's all these layers to it.
All these layers to it.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing earlier when I was exploring the work of art. Let's just get right into it. I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, there must be some elements that are really intentional to tie in with the garden. Like why the garden, and why these types of themes? And
well, art should be used as a tool for education. You know, more than anything, this piece was created for educational purposes. You know, from the beginning, like with Osomatli, you know, we created it together in a way that he saw my sculptural piece from wood, and then it eventually shifted to let's make it into the creation of the world, but make it more life-size, you know, and really hit a grander place to it, because this piece itself is a second story or a second chapter to the Semillas del Pueblo mural.
Did you have people I mean, you didn't build this alone, did you?
Oh no, yeah, it was a community effort, you know. Okay. Actually, right from the beginning, like I showed you some of my pieces of like the kind of cachina, Mexicina, I don't even want to call them.
No, it's cool. Yeah, definitely.
Because they're mixed.
I mean,
with
you're creating
cachina mixed with like the cachina work mixed with the Mexican cultural element to it, you know, because we're related, you know, like the Hopi and the Mexicano, we have the linguistical connections, you know.
Definitely.
Oral traditions, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, this is this artwork and these stories. I mean, they're not dead. They live through us.
Oh, definitely.
They live through the community, and I personally, I feel very lucky to interact with you and to share some of these worldviews, because we are our living ancestors in some way, right? And you by creating this work of art and sharing it with the community, you get to give these old ancient stories new life.
It was like, let's make it life-size, and at the same time let's use it as an educational element for the school to come here and to really educate the children of the beginning of the world, or the world view of our ancestors, you know. One thing is that the community took place in this part of building this. It took body action. I don't know, I work with a lot of at-risk youth, which they call them at-risk youth, but we work in juvenile hall systems and so on. And within my own community, because this is my own community,
Okay.
we've decided to work with the community garden here and really bring the youth from Barrio Action to take place in this. And of course, my wife and other people that came together to work on this. It wasn't just me,
Of course.
It took a lot of effort
Lot
for
of hands,
everyone, all
yeah.
hands on and definite.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just want to just stress
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And is
more
there
than
anything
anything.
else you want to just throw in there real quick, or anything?
Well, more than anything is if you don't know your past, then you don't know your future.
You have it, people. You don't know your past,
Yeah.
you don't know your future.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you coming down,
Thank
and
you.
beautiful job on the work of art.
Thank you very much for helping us this way.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Mesoamericanaslan. So, Joe, this work of art right here is, the predecessor to that one, right? So
Definitely
tell us
is.
a little bit about what you're holding here.
This is a piece. Once I went to Hopi land and saw a lot of the cochino work and carvings that were being done there, that inspired me to really record our oral traditions through carving also. And so this was the first piece that made it stem to get to this size, right? And it's a similar kind of story that's happening here, but unfortunately it got flipped around. Like the stars are above this piece, and then the sun and the moon are above this piece also, which the Quetzalcoatl, of course, took a different form here as the bird person in a sense, like
Yeah.
the Hecate.
Yeah, with the
Quetzalcoatl.
beak, right?
The
Yeah,
beak,
the
yes,
bill.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it all stemmed from this actual carving to get to this point.
So it's just it's neat to see that the origins of something, the like a mock-up or the smaller original concept, but to see that your artwork is evolving
Oh,
in
definitely.
size and material and
course, of
dimension,
course.
so the media is changing, and and that you've even literally the community's added life to it in the sense that there's even plants on
Oh,
this one, so
definitely.
there's
It always
things
evolves,
growing
yeah.
out of your artwork as well. So that's great. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you.